regrets that I've ever had as a sneaker collector was missing out on the Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s from 2016. I had a chance to get them, but I just let it slip. The Jordan 1 Bred is my favorite sneaker of all time. It's not only my favorite silhouette, but it's my favorite colorway on my favorite silhouette. This shoe, in my opinion, is the most wearable sneaker ever. It's the best looking sneaker ever. And while it's not the most comfortable sneaker ever, it's a classic that I don't think will ever be beaten in my mind. And the last time that we had a release of this shoe was September of 2016, 7 years ago since we've had a pair of Bred Air Jordan 1s, or at least the original version of the Bred Air Jordan 1s. And actually in 2016, they didn't just give us one pair of Bred Air Jordan 1s, they gave us two, the standard pair and the satin pair. Now this satin pair of Bred Air Jordan 1s is one of the most limited Jordan sneakers of all time. There was only 501 pairs and they released them exclusively in Soho, New York at an event that I walked right past and there was no line for. This shoe, if you can find a pair of them, because there was only 501 pairs of them, sells right now for $3,500 to $4,000, and there isn't even a pair in StockX in my size. And like I said, I walked right past this event on my way to work. I worked in Soho at the time, or right on the edge of Canal Street at the time, and I saw this event. I was like, that's crazy. They're probably releasing Jordan 1s in there. They didn't say exactly what they were releasing, but it was a Jordan 1 Bred event. They just didn't say whether it was the standard Breds or whether it was a different kind of Breds. We didn't know it was the satin Breds at the time. So I just continued on my way to work because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be at this job for years. It's fine. Well, I wasn't at the job for years. I was let go about 6 months to a year later. And since that day, I've been thinking about walking past that event and how I had the chance to grab a pair in my size for retail. And I just haven't wanted to pull the trigger on a $3,500 pair of sneakers because I just don't need to. But it looks like things are changing. My chance for redemption has come because Jordan Brand is re-releasing the Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s, and I bought a pair. Alright, so the moment of truth has arrived. The shoes have come in and I'm so excited to unbox these guys. I've not seen these in person, as with many of the shoes that I unboxed on this channel. I cannot wait to see them. I don't even know what the box looks like, to be honest with you. But it looks like it's red. What I can tell. They are a size 10.5 men's, or I guess 10.5 women's, size 9 men's, and the official colorway is black, university red, white. The box itself is pretty cool. It's kind of the, I don't know if it's like the women's version of the Air Jordan 1 box, or maybe like the special edition version of the Air Jordan 1 box. I've seen this a lot with like the 85s, and with a lot of women's releases. That's why I thought it might be a more women's-centric colorway. I'm not sure. Black branding, reverse of the standard box, but let's pop these guys open and see what we've got. Oh, I got the dust bag. Oh wait, this isn't a... It's a little tote. Sure. Okay. I'm getting a peek of them. I'm getting a peek. Oh, I don't want to tear the paper. All my 2016 memories are flooding back to me. Oh my goodness, look at this. The shoe looks pretty clean. I actually really like the way that these look. So this release is both amazing and also kind of awful all at the same time. And the reason for that is that this shoe is technically a women's only release and it does not come in extended sizing, which means guys with feet larger than size 10.5 are completely out of luck. Now the good news is, at least for me, I'm a size 9. So I was able to grab a size 10.5 women's and it fits me. And actually, there is some good news for you, even if you're not a size 9, because I'm giving away this exact pair on Whatnot. Also, huge shout out and thank you to Whatnot for sponsoring today's video. If you've never heard of Whatnot, Whatnot is a live auction shopping platform with sneaker auctions 24 hours a day that start at just $1. And I'm running a sneaker auction of my own in the next couple days, which you guys can check out for yourself by clicking the link in the top of the description below. And in that auction, I'm giving away this pair of Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s, which doesn't even come out for another month. Not only that, if you sign up for Whatnot using my link, you get $10 towards your first purchase. So if you guys want to grab some sneakers from my own personal collection, enter the giveaway for this shoe, or even enter some giveaways for other sneakers that I'm giving away throughout the stream, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below. Whatnot is a great place to both buy and sell sneakers, and not only that, you can also buy and sell pretty much anything. I buy a lot of retro video games on there. I haven't sold any yet, but I plan to. I do sell a lot of sneakers on Whatnot. So again, if you want to enter for a chance to win this sneaker for yourself, or any of the other sneakers that I'm giving away in my next Whatnot live stream, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below. But with all that being said, it does seem like these Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s, or the women's Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s from 2023, are a true one-to-one recreation, or almost one-to-one recreation, of the 2016 501 limited edition pair. And I wasn't able to review that pair back in 2016 because I just couldn't get it. So this is my chance to review a sneaker from 2016, or I guess now 2023, that I've always wanted to review. So I'm stoked. I'm excited. So hopefully you guys are too, because this shoe is dope. So the women's Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s released on October 18th, 2023 for a retail price of $180. And if you want to grab this sneaker early for yourself, like I said, you can either enter the giveaway through the link in the top of the description below, or grab this shoe through some affiliate links, which I've linked below that top link, also in the description below. And I already know, like a month before the release of this shoe, the hype for this sneaker is going to be insane. Jordan 1s haven't been as hyped as they were over the last couple years, but an OG colorway like this, a re-release of an insanely limited pair of sneakers, I mean, it's going to fly off the shelves. It's going to be crazy. Now, I will say, while I am excited to have this shoe, I still think that the original Bred ones, or the 2016 Bred ones, are still a pair that I prefer because this pair just ages so well. I actually still have a pair of these on ice. I don't know how well Satin wears because I don't have any other Satin Jordan 1s. Long term, this shoe will still look better than this shoe, but for right now, and just having a cool limited edition sneaker, this sneaker is so clean. Like I showed you in the unboxing, the box for this sneaker is different than a standard pair of Jordan 1s, and the colorway itself is also somewhat different from the standard Bred ones. Instead of being varsity red Air Jordan 1s, these are university red Air Jordan 1s. And you can definitely see the difference when you compare the two shoes. The varsity red is a little bit darker, a little bit closer to like, I don't know, almost like a deep maroon or a blood red or something like that. The university red is a lot brighter, a lot more saturated, and honestly a color that I think I prefer overall if it was in standard leather form. Although I kind of dig the wearability of this darker red. I think it's a little bit easier to rock. Oh, also I can't forget inside the box we got this little tote bag. So if you want a black Jordan tote bag, you got it. In addition to that, you also have an extra set of laces, which comes in this cardboard box. As you can see, they're red laces. And I mean, for 180 bucks, which is more than you usually pay for a women's pair of Air Jordan 1, they are making the package a little bit more compelling with some extras in there, which I like. Of course, the materials on this shoe are also elevated. You've got this satin instead of a leather. And in some ways, I think it looks very clean because of the way that it reflects the light. But in other ways, I prefer the leather because I think the leather is more wearable and will last longer over time. But we'll get into all of that later on in the review. First things first, let's try these guys on and see how they fit. I got some new shoes to show you.
Those are fancy.
They're nice, right? Here, let me grab the old ones. They're a newer version of this. Which one do you like better out of the two?
I mean, I love classic, but those are nice and shiny.
Well, the good news is these are women's exclusive, so technically I can get you a pair if you want.
Are they my size?
These are not your size. These are my size.
Aww.
So I'm gonna try these on really quick, see how they fit, see if they fit just like the original Air Jordan 1 Bred. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, the brand new Apothecary bandana collection dropping this Friday, same day as the Whatnot stream where you guys can win this pair of shoes for yourself. We've got 4 different colorways of socks and a shirt, which you guys might have noticed me wearing in the in-studio part, which I haven't filmed yet, but I will film and I'll make sure to wear that shirt so you guys can see it. But dope collection, you guys should definitely check it out. All right, so moment of truth. Let's see if these Air Jordan 1 Satins in a size 10.5 women's, size 9 men's fit like a standard pair of Jordan 1s. One of the laces, like the left lace, is like a lot shorter than the right lace, and it's the same way on both shoes. I'm not sure why. I think I just laced them wrong, probably. See, look at that. What's that about? They also have some ish-nish on the toe. I don't know where that came from.
Satin is sensitive.
The satin is sensitive. You're right about that. They feel the same. I think that these fit just like standard Air Jordan 1s. True to size is what I would suggest. If you are a size 9 men's, go size 10.5 women's. When it comes to women's to men's conversions, it's a size and a half. So you guys should be able to do the math on that. I'm not great with math. So size 10.5 women's, size 9 men's, and so on. Now, unfortunately, these only go up to a size 10.5 men's, which is a size 12 women's. So if you're any larger than that, you're out of luck. But size-wise, they feel fine. They fit just like a standard pair of Jordan 1s, true to size. Fit-wise and style-wise, I'm digging them, especially with these bandana socks. Like that fit?
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool, right? They're comfy too. They actually have a new insole in there too, so they're super soft. What would you rate these out of 10?
7.5, 8.
Oh, really? Okay, nice. Do you like these better than your Lost and Found Chicago ones?
No.
You like those better?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't have to get you these.
What? I didn't say that.
Make sure to go true to size and you should be just fine. Same sizing as your standard Jordan 1s. If you haven't tried a pair of those on before, try a friend's pair on because I'm sure your friends have Jordan 1s if you're watching these videos. If not, go to like a Foot Locker. They should have some Jordan 1s for you to try on. So there you go. Back to the studio. Now getting into the materials that make up this shoe. Obviously around the mud guard of the sneaker, you've got this black satin. Like I said earlier, I do like the way it reflects the light. It makes it look a little bit shinier, a little bit glossier, while still being a soft, flexible material. Moving up towards the center of the toe, you've got this bright university red satin, which unfortunately doesn't have any perforations for breathability. Not that the perforations in the standard Jordan 1 actually help with breathability, but I do like the way that they look. It adds a little bit more interest to the toe of the sneaker. And when you look at this shoe after a couple wears, it does get creased up. Like I said, I don't have a pair of these myself, but I've seen other worn pairs of satin Jordan 1s, and they do crease relatively heavily around this part of the toe, and because there's no perforations there, you really notice it. Continuing up on the shoe, you've got some more black satin covering the eye stays of the sneaker, and the laces actually weave through these black lace eyelets. Now, these black metal lace eyelets were on the original Satin Bred Air Jordan 1s from 2016. It's not a new detail that was added for this women's version of the shoe. I don't love the way that they look. They kind of have that sort of KO vibe, but they are probably necessary because I don't know if the satin could hold up to the wear from the laces as well as leather could. Either way, they're there, and for most of the lace eyelets, you can't actually see them because it's black on black, but you can see them pretty well towards the top of the sneaker on the red satin panel. Not a huge deal though, but I do prefer the more simple look of the standard Bred ones. Weaving through those eyelets, you've got these black flat laces, which also feature metal aglets at the end with the Jumpman logo on them. Like I said earlier, you also get a set of red laces in the package if you decide to switch things out. Those red laces also feature the metal aglet at the end too. The tongue also features that same satin treatment that you find around the rest of the shoe. It comes in black, and then at the top of the tongue, like with most other Jordan 1s, you've got the Nike Air branding embroidered in red. Moving inside the sneaker, the sock liner of the shoe also comes in black satin and is very well padded and feels great on foot. And then rounding off the inside of the shoe, you have this bright red insole, which actually features this nice padded detail. It's actually a much softer insole than standard Jordan 1s. It's also not glued down to the bottom of the shoe, so you can pull it out if you want to check it out. It's a sort of like soft foam material that feels amazing underfoot. I wish all Jordan 1s had this. Seriously, it does wonders for your feet. Like the standard Jordan 1 insoles, they can be tough because they don't do anything. This actually does help. Maybe not as much as like a Zoom Comfort Jordan 1, but it looks 10 times better. So I take the looks over the comfort most days. Continuing back in the shoe to the midfoot panel, you've got more of that satin material in black. Just on top of that, you've got this bright red Nike swoosh, which actually features this embroidered detail around the edge, which I think does highlight the Nike swoosh nicely, but I don't like it as much as just a standard stitched in detail. But I'm assuming for this satin material, they either couldn't do that or didn't like the way that it looked or something like that. Then moving farther back in the shoe towards the heel, you've got two more red satin panels, and embroidered into the lateral side, you've got the Wings logo in black. And I really like this detail because this is exactly how they did it on the original pair of satin bred Air Jordan 1s. Usually for women's only releases of Jordan 1s that are satin, they have some sort of like metal Wings logo or detail that's stitched on a piece of leather or something like that. Like even in the kids version of this release, there's a separate panel on top of this panel that they've stitched on the Wings logo detail. But for the larger sizes of this women's only Air Jordan 1 satin bred, they have the stitch in detail, which is true to the 2016 pair. And while I still prefer the standard Wings logo, because I missed out on the original version of this shoe, it's nice to have a version which is almost exactly the same, barring the numbering on the back of the shoe or on the tongue of the sneaker. I'm actually not sure where it is because I didn't have the pair. So then moving down on the shoe, you get to this bright white Air Jordan 1 midsole, and rounding off the look, you've got this university red rubber outsole. I think this shoe is incredibly dope, and I love the fact that they decided to make this women's version of the shoe almost identical to the original men's release of the shoe. I think that's really great for people like me who don't want to spend $3,500 on a pair of sneakers that I probably can't even find in my size. I also really like the bright saturated red that they use on this shoe. I think it's a really nice touch. I actually, like I said, might even like the color itself better than the standard bred one's color. However, in terms of wearability, I still think the standard bred ones are more wearable. And while I don't love this satin material as much as the leather, because of what this shoe is, I think it just looks amazing on this sneaker. And I love the way that it catches the light. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it really catches the light very nicely and looks very glossy, very elevated. I think it's dope, man. I really love this sneaker. And like I said, this pair could be yours if you guys want to check out my Whatnot live stream linked in the top of the description below. I know Jordan 1 hype hasn't been that crazy this year, but the hype on this shoe in particular, I bet is going to be insane, especially because it's only releasing in limited sizing. If it was releasing in full family sizing, maybe it wouldn't be as crazy, but the fact that there's both men and women going for the same sizes and it's going to be probably pretty limited is going to be kind of a bummer. So if you want a pair of these, either prepare to pay resale or hope that you win on the sneakers app. Good luck with that.